Has the present day bureaucracy stood by the ideals of Sardar Patel?
You are not willing to work in Bihar. You have not chosen for hope getter.
Yes, sir.
You're hating your own service like this. Why?
Why so many errors are there in the digitization process?
So what do you think, this street play, has it lost its importance in last 2-3 decades or it is still the same?
So can you tell us the operating frequency range for this 5G technology?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Manish Bhardwaj. I am born and brought up in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. I did my schooling from DAV Public School that is situated in Jamshedpur itself. And then onwards, I started my career in electronics and communication engineering. I did it from Vishwasariya Technological University, and I was campus placed in Bosch company. There I worked for around 2 years, and after that I worked in Indian Railways for around 1.5 years. And currently for the past 3 years I am working as a senior deputy collector in Begusarai district of Bihar, sir.
So you are already working as a deputy collector in the state
Yes,
of
sir.
Bihar. Okay, Manish. Your interview is on 21st
Yes, sir.
April.
Yes, sir.
What is the importance of that day?
Sir, it is celebrated as a National Civil Services Day, sir.
Why it is celebrated as a National Civil Services Day?
Sir, as per the reports that I read, that 21st April was the day on which Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he gave a talk with the people who were in the services in Delhi on that day. He had a talk and conversation with regard to the civil services on that day.
And
That is why it was celebrated as the National Civil
and
Services
what
Day.
was his advice to the civil servants?
Sir, his main advice was that the civil servants are considered as the steel frame of the country, and which is why if they function in a very efficient and in an integrity manner, then the country would progress as a whole. And they are the backbone on which the country progress depends, sir.
So his famous statement was that civil servants should work without fear and favor
Sir,
and without any expectation of reward.
sir.
Now, in the context of what Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said, you tell me the role of present day bureaucracy. Has the present day bureaucracy stood by the ideals of Sardar Patel?
Sir, present day bureaucracy has tried to the best extent to stood by the values that were highlighted by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, sir. And in this context, sir, right from the independence, civil servants have contributed largely, as we can see, in Green Revolution and 1991 reforms, and the institutionalization of Manrega has led Food Security Act, and recently if we talk about Digital India. So in all these areas, the civil servants have contributed in a very large manner, and there have been some misinstances and some of the lacunas also, like charges of corruption has been also been levied, and some of the issues pertaining to training as well as specialization, that is also one of the issues that we need to look into going further in the future, sir.
Introspect yourself and tell us honestly,
Sir.
that civil servants are supposed to be honest and fearless
Yes, sir.
and prepared to cope with political interference and day-to-day basis and be corruption free. Is it happening in our country?
Sir, it is happening, sir. In many of the areas it is happening, but yes, in some of the areas, sir, there are areas that we can improve upon in a very large manner, sir. In some of the areas still issues like corruption and political interference, that is something that we need to work upon.
You have been working as deputy collector in Bihar.
Sir.
Biharis in general are very talented in every sphere of life.
Sir.
But why still Bihar is not a developed state?
Sir, Bihar is not developed because of the multiple factors which currently are plaguing the state, sir. First is the lack of employment opportunities that are available there, which is why migration happens, and this is primarily due to the infrastructural and the industrial backwardness of the state. This is also linked to the land disputes and the social evils of casteism inequality which is prevalent in the society. So it's a kind of vicious cycle of poverty in one sense, which is why the state is not able to reap its original potential, sir.
So what is do you see any future for Bihar as a civil servant?
Yes, sir. The future can be bright for Bihar, sir, if we work upon some of the areas, especially with regard to the land reforms as well as issues by which the industry, they want to set up the industry in Bihar. So the issues we need to highlight, like ease of doing business, we can work upon, and the social justice framework which we talk about at the national level also, that can be more aggressively implemented in the state of Bihar. By following these norms on socio-economic basis, sir, we can certainly have a bright future, sir, for Bihar, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Hello Manish, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Manish, I can see that you studied from Karnataka
Yes, sir.
to do a simple BE.
Yes, sir.
Why you had to travel all the way from Bihar to Karnataka? There was no good engineering college in Bihar?
Sir, engineering college I studied, I was initially did schooling from Jharkhand, sir. There only one engineering college is there which is famous for placement opportunities. So there I was not able to get selected, which is why I moved towards the South India, where I was able to get a college, and that also provided me ample job opportunities and campus.
If you talk about Bihar rather than Jharkhand, which is because you have claimed Bihar as your home state, you're currently working in Bihar.
Sir.
Name 4 educational institutions of Bihar,
Sir.
where people from other state come to study. Because Biharis go to study in almost all engineering or medical or other colleges in the entire university. But there must be at least few institutions where other peoples come and study.
Sir, one in the engineering sector, there are 2 colleges, sir. National Institute of Technology in Patna, and as well as
Patna primarily because the 50% reservation is there for outsiders. I mean, effectively 50%.
Yes,
so that's a forced thing. IITs and NITs are forced thing. What else?
Sir, apart from that, in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, sir, that is also located in Patna, sir. So, and apart
all
from
3 institutions are new institutions. What happened
yes,
to the old institutions? I mean, it's a place of Nalanda. Why educational institutions in Bihar have seen such a decline?
Sir, there are multiple reasons for this decline, sir. First, in the governance sector of the education institution, their autonomy is not provided to a large extent to the higher education institution. Majority of the things, they are centrally controlled either from the governor's office or from the state education department, which is why one of the areas the autonomy is lacking to decide the syllabus as well as the parameters on which we have to conduct the placement, as well as to highlight the important areas which the Bihar can progress and the newer courses which can be offered. So these autonomy is lacking in many areas, sir. And many of the talented students are in the hope of getting a job opportunities, they are opting for such career options which they have to migrate to the other areas which because of that. So any education institution is famous for its teachers, governance, as well as the students, sir. So in these 3 areas we need to work upon, as I highlighted.
I understand that students are forced to go out, but you are an administrative officer. You are currently working in Bihar Civil Services.
Yes, sir.
You are senior deputy collector.
Yes, sir.
You are not willing to work in Bihar. You have not chosen for home cadre.
Yes, sir.
You are hating your own service like this. Why?
No, sir. I opted for Jharkhand as my first preference, sir, because both my parents, they live there in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. And I have been born and brought up and lived for around 15 years in Jharkhand. And in any services, sir, if the government wants me to work across India, I am willing to go there. As well as in the state of Bihar also, I can be deputed for a length of period of my services. So there are ample opportunities for serving the state of Bihar.
You are already deputy collector for quite some time, senior deputy collector. Tell me 3 assignments you are proud of. You worked on 3 assignments and you're proud of your performance there.
Sir, first is the operationalization of the Disaster Emergency Operations Center in Vaishali district. Earlier when I was posted in Vaishali district, it was defunct in one sense, and after I came, I took up the task to open the Disaster Emergency Center for 24/7. Secondly, sir, with regard to some of the flood affected areas, as I worked as an officer in charge in disaster management.
Okay, anything else apart from disaster?
Sir, apart from disaster, currently in the land revenue administration I am working, sir. In that, many of the appeals recently, land dispute appeal has came to my court, sir. And in that, one poor lady was there and she was being threatened by the strongmen of the villages, sir. And there I used with the help of police force and the circle officer of the concerned block, sir.
In all 3 occasions, yes, it appears that you are in your particular personality Because of that, you were able to do whatever you wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
There were no systemic solution emerging from any of your intervention. You getting my? It is because you are a good person, you actually wanted to help, you were able to individually help, as if you're a Raja and Praja ki aapne seva kar di.
Sir.
No systemic solution came in 3 years, 4 years from you?
Sir, with regard to the systemic solution, the operationalization of the disaster emergency operations center,
Right.
sir, it could be one of the systemic solution by which the 24
Fine.
into
Thank
7.
you. Thank you, Manish.
Yes, sir.
Manish, you worked in Bosch.
Yes, sir.
What is the footprint of Bosch in India?
Sir, around in 18 cities, the Bosch is currently working, and it has its headquarters in Bangalore, and its central headquarters is in Stuttgart in Germany. And with the help of joint ventures like Myco India, it is working in India in many of the sectors like energy, lifestyle solutions, as well as braking system. And
How long it is in India?
sir, since 1951 it has been in India, sir.
And is there any manufacturing plant in Bihar?
With regard to Bosch, sir,
Hmm.
sir, I'm not able to,
Not aware?
not aware about this, sir.
Okay, there is a plant in Patliputra, Patna.
Sir.
So, what you have learned from that organization, which is having a very strong footprint in India? It is having largest manufacturing base outside Germany in India.
Yes, sir.
So, what kind of learning you have made from there, which can help you improve administration?
Sir, first is the punctuality which is associated with the private job. If I'm working on a project, I have to be there, and in the initial, when we come to the office, we are being briefed what is the agenda for the day. So this is one thing which in the government also, if the concerned section officer or the in charge of a particular department, he briefs his colleagues or his subordinates daily, then communication is something which lacks in government organization. So that is one thing which I learned.
Why communication is lacking in government organization?
Sir, because of the hierarchy which is present in the government organization, as well as only the subordinates, they go to the senior for any problem or during the meeting. A regular interaction apart from the job also, that is also needed, so that a more cohesion at work.
So, as senior deputy collector, have you tried to introduce a new kind of communication mode in your department?
Sir, currently I have not tried, sir.
Why?
Sir, maybe I will get a chance in future, then definitely I will try it.
But you are working already for 4 years.
Yes, sir.
I know that you must be having some junior officers under you,
Yes, sir.
and you have to set the norms, you have to take initiatives.
So one instance where I remember is that earlier, before my joining as a deputy collector land reform, sir, meeting at the sub-divisional level, they were not held on a monthly basis. We have to conduct meeting on 15 to preferably 15 days and once in a month. So I tried to institutionalize this and had conducted the
in your
meeting regularly.
digitization of the land record, you have
Sir.
why so many errors are there in the digitization process?
Sir, because of the lower level revenue karamchari who are there in the land revenue department, because of the lack of training as well as understanding, and for their own greed and corruption also, many of the land records they have been tampered with, sir, which has resulted. Yes, sir.
Deliberately?
Sir, deliberately for corruption, or due to around 20% of the land they are not surveyed in Bihar, and they are called as topo land. So 20% topo land is there. So that is also one of the issues which has been highlighted in survey.
But deliberately, the
Yes,
data
sir.
which was available in Khatian and Register
sir.
2
Yes, sir.
have been misspelled on
sir.
digital records.
Yes, sir.
As senior officer, have you taken any disciplinary action against your juniors
Sir,
for making this deliberate error?
Sir, for deliberate error, sir, I have joined around 2 to 3 months, and currently I have not started any departmental proceeding on any karamchari till now. But the Bihar government has recognized this, and a dedicated portal called Parimarjan portal has been started for this. And in that, the entries which have been done wrong by the revenue karamchari, or by mistake or by intentional, at any level it can be corrected, sir. So there is a process for that.
On many occasions, the process of digitization was outsourced to some private agents
Yes,
without monitoring their quality and their skills.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that this outsourcing itself is a corrupt act?
Sir, outsourcing may be because of the sheer volume of the land records which have to be digitized in a very short span of time, and we have resorted to such kind of outsourcing. But currently the department has recognized this, and a dedicated survey has also begun and which is likely to be completed by the end of 2024.
You have taken geography as an optional.
Yes, sir.
You understand the geography of Bihar
Yes, sir.
is not very favorable for a variety of reasons.
Yes, sir.
In spite of repeated efforts of the Bihar government, why Bihar has failed to attract not only foreign direct investment but also even domestic investment?
Sir, as it is rightly pointed out, sir, the climate related issues and especially the flood. In North India, around 73% of the area they are submerged for 2 to 3 months due to floods, and because of such harsh circumstances, no one would be ready to invest if their 2 to 3 months are gone for floods. And there are connectivity in the remote villages to the district headquarters, that is also not so great, sir. And apart from that, the land disputes, as I mentioned, and that is also one of the major causes by which the industry they are reluctant to invest, because without a fit land, disputes like Singur disputes which had arisen in West Bengal, such kind of instances, they deter the industrial persons to invest in Bihar, sir.
Central government has started a program to promote export at district level, and your district Begusarai has got some impressive data about it.
Sir.
Are you aware of the performance of your district in export performance?
Sir, specifically data I am not aware about this, but the products, the petroleum products are one of the exporting items from the Begusarai district and the Barauni areas near Begusarai, sir.
Okay. And what about the other products which are exported from not only Begusarai but surrounding districts, neighboring districts?
Yes, sir. Many of the export hub like Vaishali, they are famous for bananas, and Muzaffarpur, they are famous for the lychee. And in Bhagalpur and in the eastern Bihar, they are famous for jute and silk, sir. These are some of the target areas which the state government as well as the central government are looking towards, sir.
There is another scheme which is very old, that is called Towns of Export Excellence Scheme.
Sir.
How long this scheme is running, and which towns in Bihar have been brought under this scheme?
Sir, Towns of Export Excellence, sir, it is under the foreign trade policy in recently what we have heard. Sir, exactly which cities are covered in Bihar, I am not aware.
The scheme was
this,
originally launched in 2002, long
Yes,
back, more than 20 years ago, but now government has revived it,
sir.
and new towns are being added.
Sir, I am not aware about the new cities from Bihar which are added in Town of Export.
So which are the major, do you know that Bihar is one of the leading producers of corn, Makka?
Yes, sir.
Which area?
Sir, around most of the areas in Tirhut division comprising East Champaran, West Champaran, Vaishali,
Are you
Saran
sure
district.
or making guess?
Sir, there the maize production happens in a very large number, sir. Maybe the other areas would also contribute, but this is one area
Which kind of
know,
soil
sir.
is suitable for maize production?
Sir, there the coarse soil can be helpful for maize production because it is a coarse cereal. So coarse soil can be.
Coarse soil means what kind of soil?
Sir, which does not have that ample amount of nutrients compared to like alluvial soil. There have ample amount of nutrients. So coarse coarse cereals, sir, they can be grown in.
And do we have any agri-export zone in Bihar?
I'm not aware about this, sir.
Not aware about agri-export zone?
No,
Any
sir.
SEZ in Bihar? A special economic zone?
Sir, there is an industrial zone, but is it under special economic zone? I'm not aware. It is near the Munger region, sir, in Munger to Bhojpur.
So I think you have studied in regional planning, growth center and growth poles.
Sir.
Do you find, with your understanding and with your experience of administration,
Sir.
any industrial, that is any growth pole in Bihar or any growth center in Bihar?
Sir, with regard to the growth pole, sir, tourism can be one of the growth pole which I think can be utilized with respect to Bihar, because ecotourism in Nalanda district and in West Champaran in the Valmiki Tiger Reserve, these are some of the poles which can be identified. Specifically with regard to the growth centers, sir, towns like Bhagalpur and Bhojpur, Munger and Begusarai, they are some of the areas which are situated in the South Bihar region.
Okay, my last question.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to a layman,
Yes, sir.
simple 10-year-old child,
Yes, sir.
difference between growth pole and growth center? 2 points.
Sir, growth pole, sir, it is related to the industry, and whereas the growth center, it is related to the geography of the industry, where the industry is situated. And sir, growth pole, sir, growth pole precedes growth center, sir. First the growth pole come and then the growth center comes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Manish,
Sir.
In your def, you have mentioned that street plays has been your area where you have also won prizes, right?
Sir.
So what do you think, this street play, has it lost its importance in last 2-3 decades, or it's still the same?
Sir, street play has not lost its importance, but the other platforms like social media, and they have gained more importance and they are more eye-catching now. But still, in many of the areas, the street play is the one of the important mode of communication. Like in Bihar, with regard to the prohibition law, street plays are being performed on Bihar Divas also, so as to spread awareness in the remote villages and the remote areas.
Okay. See, it is being said that preventive detention laws, the provisions regarding them, are a colonial legacy, right? So, do you think that we should do away with these provisions?
Sir, which provisions, sir?
Provision of preventive detention laws.
Sir, preventive detention laws, sir, currently it is required with regard to India, sir, because many of the situations they require proactive action to take place, and preemptive detention is something that has been utilized in many of the instances in regard to law and order. Like in any particular communal incidents or any apprehension of two clashes, people with certain background, they are being arrested so as to safeguard the environment and peace of the area, sir. So in my opinion, sir, currently it should be maintained, but it can be regulated to a very large extent if it is possible with the help of law, sir.
Manish, we often hear the cases of extrajudicial killings, particularly encounters in different
Yes,
parts
sir.
of India.
Yes, sir.
So how can we actually discourage, in fact punish this culture?
Sir, extrajudicial killing is something that the court is also worried about, as well as the government is also serious about it, sir. And with regard to that, the Supreme Court has come out with a guideline also, and the National Human Rights Commission also has took cognizance of it. And then they have issued guidelines and the standard operating procedure when it comes to any instances of encounter. And encounter killing, sir, specifically there are standard operating procedure that has to be followed before any such encounter and killing in that encounter, sir. And my opinion, sir, it is on the ground, the people who are dealing with it, sir, they have to be trained and they have to be more aware with regard to the what are the process for the encounters, sir.
Okay. See, China often conducts military exercises in the sea around this Taiwan, right?
Yes.
So what is the India's relationship with the Taiwan? In which direction we are heading?
Sir, Taiwan is one of the important partners when we look at the India's East policy, Act East policy, sir. And it, because of its strategic geographical location, it has become one of the centers of geopolitical conflict also. And currently, sir, India doesn't have a embassy type relation, and it doesn't recognize Taiwan as a separate country. India adheres to the One China policy, sir. But certainly in the past few years, sir, India hasn't mentioned this One China policy in many of its statements with regard to China, sir. So it is kind of a shift with regard to its earlier position. And India has also opened representative offices in each other's country, which is a de facto embassy kind of a thing, sir. So certainly I look at the relation being stronger in future, especially with regard to the manufacturing and semiconductor industry. We can exchange views and ideas, and that would be helpful for our Digital India program also, sir.
Thank you, Manish.
Sir.
Manish, you have done your graduation in electronics and telecommunications, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you define spectrum?
Sir, spectrum is the frequency band in which the electromagnetic wave they are moving, sir.
Okay, recently we are moving towards the 5G technology.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us the operating frequency range for this 5G technology?
Sir, currently it is not coming to my mind, but sir, I've read it, but not coming to my mind, sir.
No issue. Being an electronics and telecommunication engineer and work experience in Bosch,
Sir.
now as an administrator, right? So can you tell us what the basic principle of electronics and telecommunication that you find a more practical application in this administration?
Sir, one is the direct benefit transfer, which currently the government of India is catering to, sir. It because of the communication technology and the end-to-end transfer, we are saving a lot of subsidy leakages. And apart from that, the remote sensing technology and GIS mapping, that is also helping in our terrain as well as in the border management also. and this is specifically helping in the remote areas with regard to the e-education and the e-health
These are
facilities.
technologies. Actually, I'm talking about the principles.
Sir.
Any theories?
Sir.
Okay, no issue. Your optional is geography, right?
Yes.
And presently you are posted in Begusarai.
Yes.
Last time Begusarai topped in Bihar, the one of the most polluted town of the Bihar, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are the geographical reason of being a polluted town?
Sir, one is the location of Begusarai. It is situated on the banks of the river Ganga. There the alluvial soil is present on the bank, and because of the dusty winds and the alluvial soil, there also the air gets polluted because of that, sir. And apart from that, the industries like the Barauni refinery and Barauni thermal power plant which are situated, because of that also one of the prime reason for which the pollution is highest in Begusarai, sir.
So since you are posted there, then what are the steps that you can do to remove such kind of pollution?
Sir, with regard to the Barauni thermal power plant and the industrialized industries which are situated in Begusarai, we can ask them with regard to the CSR initiative, and also with regard to change in technology like electrostatic precipitators they are fitted, and many other new technologies are coming up which the industry know well that how we can control also this. And apart from that, the adaptation efforts like CSR activities that can be carried out, the planting of the trees in the areas. And with regard to the location of geography, sir, we can plant on the banks, like the government of India has also started the Ganga Gram village program, as well as the planting trees along the banks also, so as to improve the embankment capacity also. So these can be utilized. It will help in flood management as well as in the air pollution, sir.
What are the different types of climatic classification that you actually studied under geography?
Sir, climate classification, sir, at the international level, sir, I have studied with regard to the Köppen classification, climate classification I have studied, sir. And there are other two scientists who have classified the climate, but currently I am not able to recall, sir.
Okay, if we go by the Köppen climatic classification,
Yes,
so if we take Begusarai, then in which category you want to put under the Köppen's climatic classification?
Sir, it has been put by the Indian Meteorological Department in CWG category, sir. But what does it stand for exactly? It is tropical humid climate, but exactly the details about the CWG climate I am not aware, sir.
No issue. Thank you, Manish.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Manish, you must be aware of the concept of PPP.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, you have worked in the railways.
Yes, sir.
Give me one example of a success story of the Ministry of Railways on PPP model in Bihar.
Sir, two of the manufacturing units that is located, one in the Sarandi district. Here the engine manufacturing that is done by the help of France. That is one example which comes to my mind. And second is the diesel locomotive also. One industry is located. Exact location I am not aware, but they are public-private partnership projects, sir.
So what kind of model is this? Any idea?
Sir, not able to.
Okay, Manish, it was nice talking to you.
Sir.
The interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Come, sit down, Manish.
Sir.
Manish, this is your second interview at the UPSC?
Sir, fourth interview.
Fourth interview, acha. What was your marks pattern in the interview?
Sir, first I got 171, sir. And then 162 and then 160.
Almost.
2019, 2020 and 2021.
Okay. Consistency is there in your
Sir.
marks. So you see, did you analyze why you could not score 180 or 185?
Sir, maybe on that day, like mock, we have a mind that it is mock interview and there the real interview is there. Maybe because of that, sir. Rest apart, I don't think, sir, much.
Because after becoming a deputy collector, this is your second interview or first interview?
Sir, this is fourth, sir.
And after becoming deputy
collector,
collector,
sir. In 2019 I joined, and when I joined, after 3 months, first interview I gave, and then.
Anyways, your interview is day after
Sir.
tomorrow only.
Sir.
Wish you all the best. That's what I can tell you.
Sir, thank you.
Take take life as it is, be your
Sir.
natural self, and try to answer to the best of your abilities. Because you see, you are now a deputy collector. Most of the questions may be revolving around
Yes, sir.
your working area,
Sir.
roles and responsibilities. Why poor governance? This is the public perception.
Yes,
Why
sir.
poor governance in Bihar? Why caste stratification is
Sir.
so rigid in Bihar? Why
Sir.
other when in early 90s, when after liberalization all others were taking advantage of the liberalization, Bihar was still fighting a
Caste based.
exactly. So caste stratification and all those. So those questions are there, which you should be knowing. You are working right now in Begusarai. Begusarai importance because whatever industrial growth or development growth center is there is revolving around that area only.
Yes, sir.
Be it your IOCL or your thermal power
Yes, sir.
station and the fertilizer, all are located in that area only. So some specific questions related to IOCL may be asked. When it was set up, with whose collaboration it was
Sir.
set up, what was the initial capacity, refining capacity, what is the capacity now, what is BKPL project related to IOCL, how crude is obtained by the refinery,
Sir.
how it is refines, and the story of pipelines, why pipelines are so important, because all its materials are going through pipeline only.
Yes, sir.
What are the products of IOCL refinery? Because 60% product
Sir.
is of your diesel only. Then you
Yes,
have LPG, you have naphtha, you have sulfur, bitumen, and so on and so forth. So that kind of a thing. And issues with thermal power station, why it
Sir.
remained closed for such a time, why it has been reopened now, and about the super thermal power stations in the nearby Bad area and all that. So those issues may be there. And then your own
Sir.
working environment in the district of Begusarai. In fact, question on maize production was asked, basically keeping that in view only.
Sir.
Because it's one of the leading districts of maize production.
Sir.
It ranks probably third or so in the list of districts in Bihar. And then its export performance is also quite high. Apart from, you leave aside IOCL part of it, as far as the state government is concerned, a lot of maize is getting exported from your district only. So just keep an eye on that. And about the Vaishali, when you speak of Vaishali, then some questions related to the importance of Vaishali, the importance of ancient Vaishali, importance of Vaishali during the time of Gautam Buddha and all and beyond. Those questions may be asked. Then your views on caste survey. You are a student of geography. Your Ganga Vilas cruise project is there. Your views on that. Your views on dolphin. And then, being a student of geography, why Bihar is prone to both floods and drought, isn't it?
Sir.
What is the interlinking river interlinking project on the anvil in Bihar, or at the contemplation stage in the Bihar? Those are the general issues, and the social inclusion, financial inclusion schemes of the government of Bihar. Then your 7-7 Nishchay Part 2 of
Sir.
government. Do you think it's a successful venture, or it's or otherwise? Then liquor prohibition policy. These are the issues pertaining to Bihar. So most of the discussion will be revolving around that only. Boss is your company where you have worked. So your job profile there, what are good practices you have learned there, and how you think that those some of those practices can be adopted in the government sector also. Then you have had the experience of working in the railways. That some discussion will take you to the railways, reforms in the railways in recent years and all that, amalgamation of 8 services as IRMS and all that, and 2 PPP projects. You have partially you're correct that two projects. One is in Madhepura, that is electrical
Yes,
project,
Madhepura.
and other is your in Baroda,
Sarang district.
that is Saran district.
That
is
I've
diesel.
seen from my eyes. That's why I remember
Yes,
that.
so
And
diesel is with in collaboration with GE America
General Electric, sir.
General Electric, and that is with the collaboration with your Alstom, France.
Alstom, sir. Yes.
So as a deputy collector, you are supposed to be knowing that
Sir,
these are two
yes, sir.
things. That's all. Not beyond that. What model and all that. That is a very technical question. So even if you don't know, doesn't matter. Wish you all the best. And day after is your interview.
Yes.
Keep your cool. Keep your head on your shoulder. Go with a positive body language. Smile
Yes.
on your face, and do well.
Thank
All
you.
the
Sir.
best to you.
Thank
All-
you. Sir. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Sir.